I thought I would do like I did for Mother's Day, and in the spirit of Father's Day, make a video for my dad, recalling memories I have from my childhood. So let's see. I remember when I was younger, we used to live in Texas, and my dad worked across the border in Mexico. And I remember one day he came home from work, and I was talking to my mom about taking the little guys, i.e. my little brother and I, across the border to go to school there. And we just got dropped off there one day at a daycare. Spoke not a word of Spanish. But when we would cross the border to come back every day, it would cost 2 pesos to get back in. And sometimes my dad would give the attendant 10 and say that he wanted to pay for the other 4 cars behind us. He always paid it forward. So speaking of paying the toll, when we were younger, we used to have to ask to be excused from the table. So it was always, may I please be excused? And my dad would be like, yep, but you gotta pay the toll. And that would be a kiss on the cheek to him and my mom. Another thing that we used to do at the kitchen table was my dad would say, who would like to pray? We would all go, me por favor, me por favor, me por favor. And then he'd pick one of us to say the prayer before dinner or breakfast or lunch or whatever. But to this day, my dad still does this one. Not that any of us are ever there really for meals, but Christmas or whatever, if we're over at my dad's house, he'll call us to eat and he'll go, come and eat. And then he has this little bell that sits on the little half wall and he dings it. He goes ding ding, ding ding. And he hits the bell to tell the time, but it's like military time, so I couldn't tell you what time it actually is. This is a trick I'm going to have to remember when I have kids. My parents had this rule that if we were at the store or whatever, we weren't allowed to ask for a snack. And if you asked for a snack, you wouldn't get a snack. So we never asked for snacks because then we wouldn't get one. And so when we used to, again, come home from school over in Mexico, my dad would tell my little brother and I that we could get a snack. Sometimes we could get 2. And Shelby would always get 2 foods, and I would always get food, no drink, because you don't want to buy donuts and then not have anything to wash it down. Another thing I have this memory of is when my dad would go into a gas station, and he'd come out, and we'd look to see if he brought us a present or a treat or anything, and he'd walk and he'd have nothing in his hands. He'd look all disappointed. Then he'd pull the Skittles out of his pocket, and they were always the red packet Skittles. It was in that aqua jacket he always wore. When we lived at our house on County Line, we had a neighbor and her name was Donna. And for some reason my dad called her Heather one day. I think it might have been by mistake, though that doesn't sound like something my dad would do. But anyway, so he always called her Heather. I guarantee you now he could see her years later and he'll call her Heather. So that was the thing my dad would always do. He'd always give my friends nicknames. I had a friend named Aubrey, and he called her Sheila. I had a friend named Stephanie, he called her Gilda. I had a friend named Sam, he called her Carla. He just never calls anyone by their correct names. And speaking of nicknames, I have plenty myself. So of course, my legal name is Elizabeth, but everyone knows me as Libby. But my dad calls me Betsy. He calls me Delight. He doesn't just call me when I was little. He wouldn't just call me Delight. He'd go, do you know what you are? You're a delight. You can thank my parents for why I have such a big head. Both literally and figuratively. I'm also called 3 because I'm the 3rd child and so is my dad. So we have an unspoken bond because we're the 3rd. Libby Len. Yep. Oh my gosh, for some reason my mind is sharp as a tack because these just keep coming to me. So when we were little, my dad would come home from work and we'd run up to him and we'd lay on the ground and put both our feet in the air and we'd go, swing me! And so he'd grab us by his ankles and he'd swing us between his legs like a pendulum. And he'd go, 1, 2, 3, and he'd let go one of the legs, but he holds on to the other one and then he'd catch you in like a princess carry. He also used to do this thing where he would balance us on his hand. Scared the living crap out of me. My sister and my brothers, they thought it was hilarious, but it terrified me. Oh, the Tina toss, that was my sister's. He'd throw her up in the air and clap. A lot of throwing involved in this family. Thank goodness we have hard heads. That's all I have for now. But, something I think I've definitely inherited from my dad is the want to host and always have people over. He always has such an open door policy at his house. It's always, I could text him right now and be like, hey Dad, do you mind if me and my friends come over? And in fact, I'm pretty sure we were just having this conversation yesterday about my friends coming over there and going on his boat and hanging out. And since he's retired now and I'm his favorite and I still live in the state, we hang out sometimes. He'll come over and help me set up for my garage sale. My dad is very dependable, and he's just someone who's always there for everybody. And like my mom is a mom to so many friends, my dad is the dad to a lot of people. He's always willing to help other people and take them in. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I love you, Dad, and I hope you have a happy Father's Day!